Hi, good afternoon, my friends. This evening I'll be delivering to you a very excited video. And guess what? I want you to do something for me. I want you to give thumbs up to my video. I also like you to subscribe and make your positive comments, and also make sure you share my videos. Um, I will be presenting to you a very excited topic that most of my friends sometimes ask me, what do I mean? Or what does it means by vineyard and also wild grapes, especially the Christian society. And so this evening I'll be presenting to you this lovely topic, the vineyard of wild grapes. Just imagine. What are wild grapes? And what is a vineyard? Firstly, I want you to understand that a vineyard is like a little garden that is guarded around by walls, and vines are planted within that vineyard. According to the concordance in the ancient days, that's what used to happen in the eastern section of the world in Israel. And so, referring to the spiritual side of things, a vineyard is really relating to God's people, people who are Christians, and in particular the children of Israel. Now, our scripture here is taken from Isaiah chapter 5, and I read a few verses for you. It reads thus: Now will I sing to my beloved a song of my beloved touching his vineyard. My beloved hath a vineyard in a very fruitful hill, and he fenced it, and gathered out the stones thereof, and planted it with the choicest vine, and built a tower in the midst of it, and also made a winepress therein. And he looked that it should bring forth grapes, and it brought forth wild grapes. Well, I stop at that verse here. Now, when you think of a vineyard in regards to Israel, the beloved referring to the shepherd, and of course Jesus Christ is our good shepherd. So he was termed as the beloved here, and basically he is in charge, responsible for the children of Israel. And so this vineyard was planted in a fruitful hill. And you know, when something is fruitful, it means that it is productive, it is profitable, and it is doing well. Yes. And so, just like a person who planted a garden, and you planted some vines in it, whether it be pumpkin or cucumbers, and you nourish it properly and care for it as the husbandman, then therefore it is going to grow very good fruits that are productive. And that is what Israel was likened unto, the people of Israel were likened unto then. They were blessed, they were fruitful, they were doing well in terms of how they behave and so forth. And that's what the Master commanded that they should be. In verse 2, it says, it was fenced, he fenced it. So this vineyard was fenced around. And spiritually, God is our guide, is our protector, and he has always been protecting his people spiritually and also physically. And so it mentioned some of the cultural practices in a figurative way, that this is what the beloved or the husbandman did. He had laborers that he used to gather out the stones and to prune the vines, and of course he got some choicest vines, meaning that these vines were really good and was doing well. There's also a tower that was built in it, and in those days, the ancient days in Israel, there's always been a watchman, and so a tower was built near to the vineyard, and that was what the tower was built for the watchman to watch, to see what is happening around the vineyard and around the entire nation. And so he said at one time he looked at the vineyard. He also saw that a wine press was there, and you know that whenever you bring forth grapes, the grapes are generally processed, so that, and that was what the wine press was all for, to get the juice out of the grapes, the good grapes that are born. And so a wine press was there. And then he made an assessment, and he recognized that although he did all those cultural practices, and he had pruned and he had watered and he had taken out the stones and everything, what he recognized is that wild grapes were coming up in the vineyard. You must imagine, you as the husbandman, you as the person who taking care of the garden, you must be really worried and upset. How can it be that I planted vines that are very good? They were really looking good, and after all, the end result is wild grapes. Now, spiritually, wild grapes refers to being unfruitful, being unfaithful, some qualities and characters that is unlike the godly people, unlike being productive and being positive. They were all negative connotations. And so, ladies and gentlemen, I want you to understand that these are some of the things that generally happen in life. You try to do good, but at the end result, you find out that bad presents itself. As Paul the Apostle says, sometimes when I think of doing good, evil presents itself. And so, I'm encouraging you, do not give up. God has a way to engraft those grapes that are wild and change things around. The Lord is dynamic, and so it is. The vineyard is like a church. People, sometimes they do not do so well. Sometimes the behaviors are bad, are negative, and they give you trouble. But God has a way to change things around, to make the crooked paths straight and the rough places plain. My beloved, be encouraged. Continue taking care of your people, your vineyard. One day it will bring forth fruitful vines that are productive, that are profitable, and are fit for the kingdom. May the Lord bless you, and let me hope that you picked out some very good nuggets out of this lesson, some morals that will help to bring you back to your conscious and your state of sobriety. May the Lord bless you as you continue to work for the Master.